Hi, I'm Warren Sprouse here on the Bible Forum. We meet every Sunday night from 8 to 10 p.m. right here, Eastern Standard Time, and we talk about life through a biblical lens. Today we're talking about the deliberate deception. You can go to my website, theviewfromzoar.com, and you can read this. Got a picture. It's a discussion of the now famous Kinsey report as it relates to sexual mores of the 21st century. In 1937, the age of sexual consent in America was somewhere between 16 and 21 years of age. Statutory rape was punishable by the death penalty in 16 states. Rape was punishable by death penalty in 18 states. Seduction and adultery brought prison time and or a fine. Now, 21st century America has moved on from there. Most of the crimes I just mentioned are now vaguely thought of as crimes. Some are very subjective based on your interpretation. We have young people learning about sex in elementary school. We have children learning about homosexuality in kindergarten. The traditional family structure is mocked and maligned. Parental authority has all but ceased to exist. And where we do see it being exercised, there are those who call it abusive, telling a child no. What happened? Well, what happened was the social scientists got involved. They cooked the books, as it were. They stole our morality by emasculating our God and changing every basic value. But none of this happened by accident. The Rockefeller Institute funded a study by a man known as Alfred Kinsey in the 1920s and 1930s. Kinsey was a product of Harvard eugenics. Another defender activist for eugenics was Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood. These and many others worked to indoctrinate an entire generation of Americans in the Darwinian social model. When you see abortion on demand, you're looking at an evolutionist, a Darwinian evolutionist. For them, human beings are like animals with brains. We can control for negative genetics by limiting undesirables from procreating and thereby isolating those who demonstrate the weaker genes. In this vein, we saw things with blacks and Native Americans. These folks were discouraged from reproducing. Others who demonstrated a low intelligence level or were seriously ill were sterilized or worse. And all this was a giant social experiment designed to create a national and ultimately global utopia. They had only one real impediment in all of this, and his name is Jehovah. Dostoevsky once significantly wrote, "If God does not exist, everything is permitted," in his book Brothers Karamazov in the 1880s. Why is divorce wrong? Why is sexual promiscuity wrong? Why is pornography wrong? Why is aborting a perfectly healthy baby wrong? Every society is free to set their own moral standards, and they do. However, there is something universal about morality. The above concepts represent either the strength of a society or its weakness. Allow for divorce and on almost any grounds, and the family structure is weakened and ultimately, eventually destroyed. All you have to do is look around. Permit sexual play as a form of entertainment and watch how sexual behaviors evolve. Watch how younger children are impacted when they begin playing with this thing they don't understand. Allow mothers to kill their babies simply because they don't want to be pregnant, and watch the abuse multiply until we are killing babies after they are born. Can you say Dr. Gosnell? There's a reason our laws were adjusted back to 20 weeks of gestation. We can't take this. When we learn about it, it just destroys us. Make abortion a routine medical procedure and watch the moral temperature of a society decline. Watch how Planned Parenthood contracts out body parts for handsome fees, a practice that is a federal crime. It is a federal offense, a felony that comes with prison time to buy and sell body parts. Margaret Sanger is the mother of Planned Parenthood. She and her eugenic friends crafted a moral climate that favored an elite human being, one that was statistically free from all that would keep the future society from growing stronger and doing better, according to their definitions. If they had to kill some babies along the way, if they had to sterilize some blacks or some imbeciles along the way, it was just for the greater good. Not a problem. Today, their policies, their principles, their guides have become American social standards. It happened when God was put out. Self was installed. The elite run the country. The minorities are sufficiently marginalized by the bread and circuses of a beneficent upper class. You do know more black babies are aborted than white, right? The black population is targeted by these abortion mills. Planned Parenthood deliberately places their facilities within a 2-mile radius of a black or Latino neighborhood. That's walking distance. They make sure mothers don't see the ultrasounds or hear about options like adoption. They make certain these folks do hear about the federal financing available to make all this happen. 50% of black women over 40 have been impacted by abortion, according to Life Foundation. These women have either had an abortion or they know someone who did. In New York, there are more black abortions than black births. 52.6% of non-Hispanic black women were aborted in 2013. That according to the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. And the abortion rates in the country are down 22% in the last 15 years. The Kinsey report has long been discredited. It is now accepted truth that upwards of 87% of the so-called normal men were actually deviants of one sort or another. Generations of instruction, policy, conditioning was built on that lie. For what purpose? Well, it certainly wasn't to strengthen our society. Is it possible otherwise intelligent people could be so cruel, so insensitive, so wrong? Certainly they did not know what they were doing. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And it worked. And it is working. The average child in America is exposed to pornography at 10 or 11 years of age. It is a national health crisis. The links between pornography and sex trafficking, violence against women, child abuse, addiction, and more is well established. Why would a society want to do this to the next generation? It doesn't make sense. What's going through the minds of our legislators and judges that they would unleash this on our children? And they did all of this before the internet. Maybe they just didn't know. They know. The Bible is very clear. Human history is very clear. Human nature is very clear. It's almost as though there is something or someone deliberately seeking to corrupt and to destroy the human race. Oh wait, there is.